Perfect. Perfect. Testing, 1 2 1 2. Welcome to Sauce Sports. So didn't realize something till right before the stream, and that would have definitely been a plus to know. But anyway, something we say around here in the Sauce: players fuck up, and a player and fucked up. Didn't realize we had the later game today. But, I'm so used to the Texans, with their janky ass schedule always being the fucking morning game, I automatically assumed. So we're going to give y'all a quick rundown, and then depending on what happens in the out, well, I understand if they play the late game, y'all not going to get a post-game show. I got some homework to do. But, we're going to give y'all the rundown now, and we're going to talk about it. We got a San Fran fan in the house. If y'all have been rocking with the Sauce long enough, y'all have definitely heard his calls. Shout out to Mr. Vince joining us today. How you doing today, Mr. Vince?
Appreciate
Already. And one, Mr. Notorious. It should be no surprise if y'all don't know Mr. Wise. Mr. Wise, how you doing this morning, man?
Some people might call me the hater of the year, but 2022, I'm gonna do more hating, I guess.
Hold on one time. The player again, continuing with the players fucking up. I don't even think the player had the sound on. I think I Roman job. And then and hit y'all with the Roman. The damn other account on OBS for whatever reason this shit ain't switch over. Look, players fuck. It's 2022. It wouldn't be right if we didn't start the sauce off with a few technicalities. A few mistakes, a few things taking place, but it is what it is. It's gonna be a great year regardless. So, like I said, we're gonna get some early love out the way. That way, we can catch whatever early games being played, and then depending on the outcome of the Texans game, it may be. Trill been saving these for the last like 2 months, so I expect to see a bevy of statements from Trill. But shout out to everybody who's in the mix. A couple of things real quick. Let me see. Shout out to Alana, one half of the greatest moderating couple in all the land. Purple Drink, what's the motherfucking deal? No shout out for Professor Trill because he's a terrible person. Tony Snow, Roquel, Tony Bear, Brickva, Chris Ketchum, what's the motherfucking deal? T Real, Jers Rue. I got things to do later, Rio, so we get it early. That's why we getting it early now. God damn it. Leonard, let me see. D Bennett, Texas boy, let me see. That boy Lowe's G, Herb Gotti, L. Dot, J Boogie, Trinity Guards in the building. Ryan Blair is in there. We won't even talk about that. We all know you can't trust a nigga named Ryan Blair. Leo, King Jaja, anybody I missed, I ain't this. Let's get into it, man. Like I said, the Texans got a game coming up today, right? Featuring, it was sketchy for a moment, but featuring another highly touted rookie, right? And here's the thing, because we're going to address the Mills thing, because there's been a lot of shenanigans and tomfoolery been going on with the Mills conversation. We're going to get to that. But we've got a guy who was highly touted coming out, Trey Lance, getting a start, and a guy who's kind of made a name for himself at this point. For whatever reason, people are all of a sudden blowing up after what I felt was just an okay game by the kid, but everybody's throwing him in this conversation now. I guess you get wins, things change. It is what it is. So let's talk about it. Let's start with Mr. Vince. Vince, as a outsider looking in, you keep your eye on the Texans, a little bit, but your team is San Francisco. From a fan of another team's perspective, and you look at Davis Mills and how people are kind of starting to hype the conversation around Davis Mills. What are your thoughts comparing Davis Mills to a guy that you got or to the other rookies around the league, and just what do you see as, future potential with Davis Mills?
I mean, with Davis Mills, it seems like he's starting to come on a little bit, but I still don't think we've seen enough of him, though. Is he going to be the future quarterback for the Texans? That's still allowed to be seen. So, um, but he has been playing well. It looks like a little lately. But I definitely want to see more from him. So it's going to be interesting to see how it play out, though. I'm still got questions about him. So, but
Do you think the hype around is a little bit premature? Do you think Texas fans are just wanting anything to be excited about? I mean, or do you think there's really a potential for him to be maybe a decent quarterback in this league?
I don't know about if it's going to be decent. I know for the Texans, everything's been so rough. I think it's more like, and with him been playing better, uh, it seems like they have a little something to talk about now. So, but I don't know. I mean, for me, I'm not sure yet on him. So, as far as the hype, I'm not really sure about that yet.
Okay. I think I see y'all saying y'all having some issues in there. I see like the things to drop. Let me see what's going on. Yeah. Oh man, I seen that deal with the right. Hold on. Let me see what's going on here. For some reason, it's showing that we're getting some little stream issue. Might be a little janky. Let me see what we got. If I can resolve this matter. You got to start 2022 off on the right foot, which is the wrong foot. Y'all might have to hit that refresh. can see. Y'all let me know if y'all can see it. Drop a 1 if you can see it. If you can't see it, well, you obviously won't be able to hear this, so you won't be able to drop a 1. But we'll try to see what's going on with this. I don't know why things be working fine. Then you just go live and just want to disrupt the whole program. Yeah, it might be tripping. Like I said, I'm not sure what's going on. But wise man, we'll keep it pushing, and like I said, if we got to resolve, we'll figure it out. Been a lot of hate, and I think you've been seeing it in the sauce and in other platforms, and people been having things and statements and words to misconstrue. And you yourself has been a fan of Mr. Trey Lance. So, do you have any statements that you would like to clarify in regards to Davis Mills and Trey Lance that may or may not have been taken out of context, last week?
Here's the thing about Davis Mims. Yes, I said Davis Mims. Yeah, we know his real name is Davis Mills, but he haven't earned his name yet. So that's why we call him Davis Mims. Okay. Second of all, I still think Trey Lance is a better quarterback than Davis Mims. He's in a better situation than Davis Mims. He has your boy Kyle Shanahan as a head coach. He has the second best tight end in the league. He has 2 phenomenal receivers in Brandon Ayuk, Debo Samuels. I mean, the guy has a great a left tackle from Houston, Texas, Missouri City, Texas, Mr. Trent Williams himself. I just think Trey Lance he's mobile. He's going to be able to make those plays on his feet. When I'm looking at Davis Mills, to be honest, I haven't seen anything spectacular. His best performance was against the Patriots game when we took a loss. But people wanted to thrive at the last week talking about, oh, Davis Mills is the franchise quarterback. He is not the franchise quarterback. He's not even the best quarterback on this roster currently. If you want me to be 100% with you, we all know who's the best quarterback on this roster. People want to say, oh, the sauce this, the sauce that. Y'all still wanted Deshaun. No, we didn't want Deshaun's. We still don't want Deshaun's. We wanted to trade Deshaun so we could get those assets, but the situation has been prolonged. And just looking at Davis Mims, when I look at quarterbacks on other teams and other rosters, he just doesn't have the sauce. He doesn't have the juice. I mean, when you look at it at the end of the day, he doesn't make any spectacular throws. Yeah, he might have 1 or 2 throws every 2 or 3 weeks. But I just don't see it. I don't see that it factor with Davis Mills at the end of the day. He's going against the number 4 defense today in the NFL. So we're going to see who the real Davis Mills is. Last week, he had the crush to lean on when he had the running back game when Rex Burkhead ran for 150 yards, which was spectacular. The Texans haven't had that in multiple years. But people don't want to give him his due. They wanted to give Davis Mills the due. He only threw for 1 touchdown last week. Like I said, this guy, he will be a phenomenal backup quarterback. He will be a phenomenal backup quarterback. I don't see him being a starter. I don't even see him being a Ryan Tannehill for us. Like, to be honest with you, he doesn't. The thing about Ryan Tannehill is at least athletic enough to make the plays with his feet, and yet they want to say, "Oh, Davis Mims is faster than Deshaun." All right, let's line them up on the field and let's run a 40-yard dash and see who gonna run faster. Let's not forget the spectacular plays Deshaun Watson was doing. And the one thing I want to point out, if you look at the first 10 games of Deshaun Watson's career versus Davis Mims' career, it was a lot of more excitement with Deshaun Watson when we was in every single game in those games. We either lost by a field goal, we lost by a touchdown, we lost because of the Patriots doing spectacular catch of Brandon Cooks with 10 seconds left in the game for a touchdown on a 50-yard Hail Mary. Like, come on, man. Y'all got to be realistic. Davis Mims is not the franchise quarterback. We need to look at the draft in 2 years from now, 3 years from now. This is a long-term rebuild. I know y'all don't want to get it through y'all head, but the same situation is going on with the Houston Rockets right down the street. It's going to take years to rebuild this team. It's going to take years to find the right quarterback. Davis Mims, like we've been saying, is a short-term answer going into the next year, maybe even a year after that, while we build a roster around this team, build the defense, build the trenches, build the secondary, build the receivers, and then we get that one good quarterback, and then, hey, maybe we might be in the playoff contention. At the Sauce, we want to see the Texans win. We don't want to see the Texans lose, but we're just being completely honest. And if Davis...
Oh. Did I lock up? Oh, there we go. Okay, my bad. I don't know why my shit is just... I'm having shenanigans and tomfoolery. All right, let me see where we at. Okay, make sure everything's in order. I don't know why that's even connected. All right. I think we should be fine now. Yeah, and I agree like with Wise, and that's the thing, it's easy to take, a 10, 15-second clip and say, oh, these dudes are saying this, that, and the third. But, for those of you who do things like that, we still appreciate you, because, we appreciate the views. We know you watching. We know you sitting there in the sidelines. And you've been doing it for week in and week out. And then you wait for the 1 week that you had the opportunity to kind of think you said I told you so. But I guess, again, y'all wake up on some weird stuff. And I'm not talking about anybody on YouTube. There's other platforms where people do other weird things. But like I said, we've been giving Mills I think we adjusted, or when people saw him in the Patriots game, they'll say, okay, maybe he's not as trash as we thought he was. Maybe there is potential for, being serviceable. Because I'm gonna be honest, when I first saw him, I was like, this dude's not he's not an NFL quarterback. I don't know what the Texans saw in him. I don't see the hype. But then when I saw him in the Patriots game, I said, okay, he showed a lot of flashes of the ability maybe to manage an offense. He's not as bad as I thought he was. He's a guy that I said, even I think after the Patriots game, I said, yeah, he'll be here next year. All of a sudden, I think it takes people need those wins. And again, like I said, a game that he didn't play as well as he did to the Patriots game, where he had like almost maybe 60, 70 more yards in the Patriots game, plus 3 touchdowns. So he just looked better that game. And that was with no real running game. But no, that was him actually, carrying the team for the most part, as compared to when he had a running game, to supplement the offense. And so, people just look for these weird things, and obviously it just states that, the one stat that really does matter, like we can draw up all this other stuff. Oh, he's got this and he's got that. There's a lot of stats that got padded and, come from behind games that really weren't that close. You talk about Rams, you talk about other games along the way, and people say, oh, well, the stats were really good. If you actually watch the game unfold, it wasn't good. Like, I have this thing that I say that football is a story. You know what I mean? Every football game is a different story. So like I don't look at stats, and I talk about stat sexuals and being weird. Like stats can give you a kind of an idea of things that happen in the game, but it's not like basketball, it's not like baseball, where you can really just form a detailed story, in my opinion, about what took place in the game, because there's so many factors. You're talking about 22 men on the field at any given time, and each thing plays a role. Each action or mistake, plays a role. And to just try to give credit, oh, well, look at these numbers. This number's here, and then versus these numbers here. Like I said, there's a lot of games where Davis looked inept early on or didn't really look good. Second string comes in late in the game. Yeah, he starts lighting them up. You know what I mean? And that makes his stats look really good. Like, again, I believe he could be a serviceable quarterback in the league as far as a solid backup. He could be the Rosenfels of the future, whatever you want to call him. But as far as being honest with yourself, no one truly believes Davis Mills is the guy that's going to carry this team for the next 10 years. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's looking at him as that dude. There was a whole bunch of other names from a lot of people now who were Team Davis Mills that were getting floated around earlier in the year. This guy, that guy, watching this guy, that guy in college. If you truly felt that way about Mills the entire time, then you would never be mentioning any of those additional names. You'd have said, okay, this guy's going to come to fruition, just give him the time and the opportunity. Like I said, if I am completely wrong, and Davis Mills is that guy for the next, I will have no problem with it. I have no problem eating the crow, because guess what? Ultimately, that means, or hopefully that means, that the Texans are doing better than expected. And that is the ultimate outcome when it comes to all this. We want to see the Texans do better than just another AFC South banner, another first-round exit or a second-round exit. At this point, you got to get tired of the mediocrity, and you got to expect and want the Texans to get to that next level. But getting back to the game at hand today, man. Like I said, Vince is a San Fran fan. If you were to tell Texans, if the Texans were curious about, or Texans fans were curious about San Fran's biggest weaknesses, as a fan, what would you think those things were, Vince?
Oh man, I mean, our biggest weakness right now would be definitely the secondary. Number one. I mean, mainly because we got a young guy playing that hasn't played in over a year due to COVID, who's had to play a lot, and then we had injuries in the secondary. So our biggest weakness right now is definitely secondary. We've been banged up. We've been dealing with players who got a long injury history that we should have probably moved on from. That's the biggest weakness right now. So we definitely got work to do on that as far as getting that secondary rebuilt. But that's the biggest weakness right now by far.
Okay. And so you're saying, your secondary being the biggest weakness, do you see uh, Davis Mills or that Texans receiving core being a threat? or do you have any concerns in that area, or do you think that you guys will be able to withstand whatever they can bring?
I know. I think we can still withstand it because I mean that D line is coming. It's still coming. With Bosa, he's almost got 20 sacks this year. You know, at the pace he's been going on. So D line is still pretty good. The linebackers have been solid. I mean, we gonna bring pressure. We definitely gonna put pressure on Mills all day. So the secondary, I think it's still hold up, even though that's our biggest weakness. And we just gotta get pressure on Mills. I think we'll be okay.
Okay, okay. So now, Wise, I know I know you've been keeping a little eye on San Fran. You've been watching your boy Trey Lance. Waiting for him to get the opportunity. But you, as a Texans fan, looking at the other side, what do you see as San Fran's biggest threat to the Texans in this game today?
The tight end, George Kittle. George Kittle's going to be the X factor, and Nick Bosa. Those two guys is going to be a huge impact for the 49ers going into this game. If Nick Bosa is able to set the edge and stop the run game and put some pressure on Davis Mims, it's going to be a long day for the Houston Texans offense. If George Kittle is able to get open on third down, second downs, he's a good blocker as well. He can help seal off that edge and help the running game start for the 49ers. Those two guys are very pivotal for this game. I'm not 100% sure. Is Kittle actually playing? I know Bosa's playing today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Kittle's playing.
If Kittle's playing, I'll look out for him to have at least 100 yards receiving. We've been struggling in the guard tight ends for like the last decade. So it's going to be a huge problem for us. We've never been able to guard tight ends, and without it's going to be interesting who the Texans line up on Kittle. If it's going to be somebody like Eric Murray, I can expect them to have like maybe 2 or 3 touchdowns. But if it's going to be somebody like Lonnie Johnson, I think Lonnie Johnson will be a better matchup for George Kittle because Lonnie Johnson's a bigger dude. 6'1", he's a little bit taller. He can get a little bit more physical with him. So those are the two guys that I'm looking at in today's game to make a huge impact for the 49ers. And I think I do like Kinlaw too. I think they got Kinlaw. Y'all have Kinlaw, right? I think they have Kinlaw.
Yeah, but he's out though.
Oh,
Yeah, he suffered a knee injury, so he's out.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah, he's out for the season. So
Wow. Well, yeah, those gonna be my two guys for today's game. And then, but hey, I forgot they do got one of the best middle linebackers in the game, though, Fred Wagner. What? Let me tell you about this boy. This man can run sideline to sideline, 50-yard to 50-yard, and make some big plays. That guy has great pursuit. Like I'm real serious. Like if the Texans had an opportunity to get a linebacker like Fred Wagner, that's the type of the dudes that I want on my team. I said Fred Wagner, Fred Warner, my bad. But yeah, I know his name. But yeah, he fast. He can make plays. He can fly to the ball. Watch out for him. He's a huge player for the 49ers defense and expect to hear his name a lot.
Okay. So, yeah, and I think that's just, like you said, it's been a history of Texans and tight ends and quality tight ends. We just, something just ain't connecting quite there. But like I say, looking at this, you look at these two matchups on paper, the 49ers are a significantly better team, right? And you still got folks, Brickville, we know. This is not his senior year in college. This nigga's a grown-ass man. He declared for the draft. If he wanted a senior year in college, he'd have stayed in college. But like I say, looking at the difference between these two teams, and everybody's asking, what is it going to take for a guy on the Texans side to get respect? Do you think he garnered respect? If he can have a quality win against a team and a defense like the 49ers, do you think that gives him a level of respect when we're talking about Davis Mills? I mean, or do you think, it's going to take more than that when it comes to a guy like Davis Mills?
Well, I think he would get some respect. I mean, like I said, he's going to get some pretty good team. It's probably going to take more too, but I think he'd get some more respect than what he has now.
What about you, Wise? Does that garner any more respect for Davis Mills if he comes away with a quality win? And I'm talking about a win where he's actually the most impactful piece, not getting carried by the running game, not the defense making spectacular plays, keeping guys in check. Davis Mills is really that guy. Does that garner more respect for him in your opinion?
It does give him a little bit more respect. I mean, he is going against the number 4 defense on the road. I'll give him a little bit more respect than what we're giving him, but like I said, I just don't see it. hey, I want Davis Mills to go out there, Davis Mills, whatever you want to call him. I want him to go out there, throw for 500 yards, 5 TDs, 0 interceptions. I want him to do this. I want the Texans to win. But the thing is, I just don't see it happening. So does he deserve the respect if he comes out there and shut us up? Yeah, we've been doing this for years with the Sauce. We call out Whitney Merciless. We called out Deshaun multiple times. We called out Hopkins multiple times. And then what they do, they show us up the next game. They come out and have a spectacular game. So Davis Mims, if you're watching this video, go out there and throw 500 yards. Maybe we'll start, hey, Davis Mims is the GOAT. Davis Mims is that. But until he earned that type of respect, he ain't going to get that type of respect. That's how it works in H-Town. I don't know where y'all come from, but where we come from, you got to earn your respect. You can't just give Tyler Guy his flowers just because who he is, just because he got a name. And if you want to look at it, Stanford got another quarterback that played one season and coming out of the draft. So what y'all going to call him a superstar quarterback too? Let's be real here. That's all I got to say.
Yes. Like I say, you got to put it together consistently for me. Like I said, you got to win against the quality teams. Again, a win against the Jags. Ain't gonna cut it. And I know, yes, early on in the season we were excited about it because, we thought the Jags were going to be talented. You had a guy like Urban come in, and you had the number 1 pick, and Trevor Lawrence was supposed to be this, that, and the third. And, the Texans came out and trounced them. Then, when you circle back around, we know that, hey, guess what? It's the Jags are still the fucking Jags. I mean, it is what it is. So there's really not a lot of credit in that. The Chargers game, you can look at it a lot of ways. And like I said, give him his dues for not messing up, not throwing the game away. But again, like I said, like you mentioned earlier, Rex was probably the most credible person in that game. You look at the defense and what they were able to do. When Owens picked one off in the end zone, basically. You had a pick 6, so that's a 14-point turnaround right there that you got to, attribute to the defense. Like I said, Rex put 2 in the end zone. So, I mean, like, the nonsense with the whole Davis Mills thing where everybody's like, oh, you hating on him. But in reality, it's just like the dude had a good game. But other aspects of the game were a bit more important. That's why you saw, Travere Thomas go get Defensive Player of the Week. Oh, what happened? Hold on. Shenanigans and tomfoolery. Give me just a moment.
Perfect.
Yes. Again, players fuck up. Like I said, plenty to get through in 2022. Shit happens, but we still here, still strong, still standing. I'm not sure what's been going on. It's been one of them days, and I ain't gonna be honest. I'll be honest. I've been celebrating holidays, so I need to make sure I got all the technicals back in order. But damn, I forgot where we were right before everything cut out. I know we were talking about Mills and credibility and things like that. Yeah, just being more effective, more like I said, for all the glory that everybody's giving him. You know what I mean? Like the reason why I don't understand is one, he had a much better game, and people weren't really saying shit about it. And then two, the game where he had a solid game, but it really wasn't him that carried the team. Everybody goes nuts, and I think it's disrespectful to, like I say, to the defense, like I said, who kept the Chargers out of the end zone. I think it's disrespectful to a guy like Rex Burkhead, who he may never have a 150-yard game ever again. He's getting up there. This might be the last time you ever see something from a guy like him. You know what I'm saying? But that's all it is. It's not even about Mills hate. It's just about for the way. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna throw this out here. Some people are not gonna like it. Some people, well, I don't really give a shit. It's not even the Texans that I get annoyed with when it comes to a lot of stuff. It's Texans fans who go out saying some of the most outrageous shit in the most outrageous situation. Like, I get it, dog. Like, we all want something good to come about. It's not going to happen this season. No matter if you win out the rest of a season. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be a good season. So instead of trying to, like, salvage this season, and just overhype shit, it's cool. Look forward to the future. Like I say, Mills will be here again next year. But, again, let's stop with the nonsense and the shenanigans. But getting back to it. Like I said, Trey Lance, I know is a guy Wise been a big fan of. But Vince, you particularly, as a San Francisco fan, like what expectations do you have from a young Trey Lance? Do you think he needs more time? Should he be in the mix? I mean, should he have been starting? Like, what are your thoughts on a guy like that?
I mean, honestly, I wanted him to play from the beginning of the season. Once they traded up to get him, I wanted to take my lumps with the young guy. That way he gets more experience as he goes. And then, maybe we can maximize the window of trying to get to a Super Bowl. So I wanted him to play from the beginning. But Kyle Shanahan didn't want to play him from the beginning. He wanted to ride this Jimmy G wave. And the thing about it is, I felt like, well, that money that we paid Jimmy G could have went to rebuilding the secondary. So I've been one of the young guys to play. But now he's got to play. Jimmy's hurt again. He can't stay healthy. Jittery G, So I mean, let the young guy play, man. And the young guy, I mean, my expectations for him is he don't have to go out and win the game by himself. He's got a lot of playmakers. Just get the ball to your playmakers, let them do what they do. I think they'll be all right. But like I said, I've been wanting to roll with the young guy. So let's roll with him.
Okay, all right. And Wise, and looking at the guy across the way, a guy that, I know earlier, if the opportunity would have been there, we would have got rid of some, dead weight, some of those slippery characters that are still on the roster, even though they're not contributing to the team. Maybe we would have got some assets that maybe we would have been able to make a move for Trey Lance in last year's draft. But that didn't happen. Things fell through. Weren't able to get him. How are you feeling about Trey Lance's potential, his future? And, where does he go, from this point forward?
I mean, today is going to be what I think is going to be the coming out moment for Trey Lance to be the starter for the 49ers going forward. Starting today, he's going to have a spectacular game, I believe. Like I said, he has the talent around him to succeed. He has a great coach. He has a great tight end. He has a great receivers. He has a good O-line. He has a good general manager. We got to just think about it. San Francisco was just in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago going against the Chiefs. They can be there again pretty soon with a guy like Trey Lance. He has the arm talent. He has the accuracy. He can make plays with his feet. He's gonna run guys over. He has that it factor like Deshaun Watson. But at the end of the day, like I said, the most important thing with a quarterback at the end of the day is the organization, the coaching structure. Uh, that's going to aid his development the most. And the most important year for a quarterback is going to be next year, his sophomore year, because that's when you start seeing how a quarterback has been able to develop, looking at practices, looking at different coverages, being able to read a cover three zone, hard flat zone coverage, being able to read a cover four, be able to come up to the line of scrimmage and make audibles. Larry, Omaha, like Peyton Manning's and stuff like that. So if he's able to get the system down with Kyle Shanahan, we know Kyle Shanahan was a Houston Texans offensive coordinator one day back in the day, then this guy can go great. I mean, he has the potential to be I would say top 12 quarterback in this league. I'm not going to go and say top 10 yet, but I would put him above the top half of the league. I'll put him right there in the top half of the league. Like I said, it's just based upon what I've seen. If he turns out to be a bust, I'll eat my crow. But this is just what I've seen. I wanted him to be a Houston Texan when we was going to get rid of some dead weight WD-40. But unfortunately, we was unable to trade WD-40 himself before the season. So we couldn't get my boy Trey Lance. So Waz is upset about the whole situation. But the guy definitely has star potential. Don't get me wrong. And he has a young core on the 49ers. So they got a young defensive studs. They got young offensive studs. That team got limitless potential, especially in that division. And plus, I want to see them beat up on the Cardinals every year.
Yes. And St. Lou, don't nobody want to give Mac Jones no props. You don't even give Mac Jones. You a 50-50 Patriots fan. You a Patriots fan for like 50 minutes of a Patriots game. You turn on them halfway through the game, then you jump back on whenever they win in, and you talking about Mac Jones, Tom Brady times two. Oh, Mac Jones garbage. He ain't got Tom Brady. You don't even know what you like. So
Exactly.
Stop the cap, St. Louis.
And why is Mac Jones succeeding? Because the structure he has around him, right? Am I right or am I wrong? Is it not because of Bill Belichick, Josh McDaniels, and the team they built around him, the scheme? If you really look at his numbers and break it down, they even did this on ESPN during the Monday night game. He dinks and dimes. Most of his passes is between 10 yards. So if you look at it, that's why I say people got to look at, they just look at he threw 30 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He threw 10 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. No, you got to look at the advanced metrics, the advanced stats, if you want to be a statistician and shit like that. So come correct when y'all come to the sauce. Come correct when y'all come with the comments, because when you want to talk about numbers, we can deep dive into numbers. Trust me, I do numbers all day.
Yes. But again, like I said, only time will tell, from the right and the wrong. It is what it is. Yes, we have to address the convo, Ray, because you haven't been on the Twitters. And people on Twitters like to take, small clips of the sauce and try to manipulate the conversation dishonestly, and they know it's dishonest. And so you got to take a little bit of time out to clarify the nonsense, again. And for all y'all, I know y'all are watching, so it's all good, So I'm pretty sure y'all are looking for something y'all can try to dig out and try to retweet and clip out and say, oh, they said this or they said that, and you'll take it out of context. It's all good. We appreciate you for that. You know what I mean? Like,
you making the sauce more attention. Yes. Give us more attention.
Yes. The haters gonna hate. They wake up in the morning hating on the sauce. It's a crazy thing. But ultimately, like I say, we're looking where you are, man, with the whole situation with San Fran. Again, like you said, you got a future, according to Wise, top 12 quarterback on the franchise. Maybe you believe he could do better. Maybe, you said you want to see him get in early, take his lumps and his bruises. How do you feel about the direction that San Francisco is trending as a whole, compared to the rest of the league?
Oh, man. I mean, I feel pretty good overall. We have to move forward with the young guy because Jimmy G's not going to be back next year. So I'm actually pretty happy about that. So overall, I feel pretty good. I mean, we got some contracts that we're going to have to shore up some people. Like Debo's been having that crazy year this year. So we're going to, get him signed up, locked up, and some guys. But I feel pretty good overall moving forward. I mean, like I said, we can get our secondary right and get the young guys some more experience and keep rolling with him. I feel pretty good.
Okay. And now, from an unbiased perspective, like I said, with your fandom being with San Francisco, but you keep an eye on the Texans. How do you feel about the Texans? You know, looking as an outside fan, looking at them and the direction that they're headed in their future.
Oh man, I mean, it just feels like it's gonna be a long rebuild. Ever since the Deshaun thing went crazy, it just seemed like now it's a long setback, man. Can it still have a quicker turnaround? It's possible, but it don't feel that way. It just feels like it's gonna be a long rebuild, man. Till I mean, Deshaun's still on this roster. They're still talking about trading them to get assets. So it just feels like it's gonna be a long rebuild, man. Honestly.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely feel the same way. It feels like, what I thought would be maybe a couple of years, a few years, it just seems that it may be a longer process. So, Wise, in your perspective, like if you were to compare, the direction that San Francisco's headed compared to the Texans and the way they're trending, well, what team do you feel like has the brighter future over the long term? I think you're muted. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think you're muted. I still can't hear nothing. Oh, I think so. Say something.
He's still muted.
Is
Yo, yo,
there
yo,
we go. Yeah.
yo, yo. But
There you
yeah,
go.
I said the 49ers definitely have a brighter future than the Texans going forward.
Yeah.
Like I said, they got the good pieces in place. Like Vince said, all they got to do is show up those contracts. And most important
I don't know, I'm not sure. Hold on, man. I'm going to catch you. I don't know if it's me, but it seems
Yeah,
like you're getting
okay, hear him
quieter
too
and quieter.
good.
Like you start off loud, and then it
Yeah.
sounds like you're getting quieter and quieter and quieter.
hold on. Give me a second.
Yeah, so you clear there.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you clear. It's just like,
Yeah. Okay,
There you go.
I was saying the 49ers have the team already built around them. All they got to do is shore up their contracts and stuff like that. But when you take a look at the 49ers going forward, their most important thing is going to be Kyle Shanahan and Trey Lance marriage. If those two are able to get together and do something phenomenal and be on the same page with John Lynch, then it's going to be spectacular. The thing about the Texans, our problem is the reason why I say we don't have a brighter future is because we're not on the same page when it comes to the front office. You have a head coach that's on a different page than the offense. I mean, than a general manager that's on a different page than the team president. So, and that's Jack Easterby. We already know. I don't like this Patriots South thing. I don't like that we trying to imitate the New England Patriots and things of that sort. But at least if we're gonna do the New England Patriots thing, at least have everybody on the same page. You might as well go ahead and bring in Josh McDaniels, and if it don't work out, then just go ahead and blow it all up in the next year or two. Because at least we know Josh McDaniels and Nikki Scissors is gonna be on the same page. At least we know that. At least we know that. I don't want to have the same situation we had in the past where we had rift in the front office when we had the talent, when we had a Hopkins, when we had a JJ, and then we had a guy like Brian Gain and Bill O'Brien not on the same page. And what happened? They got Brian Gain out of here within less than a year. And then we got to look at the rift with Rick Smith and Bill O'Brien. So we've never got a Super Bowl out of that. When you have a franchise, it has to start with the front office. Everybody has to be on the same page. The general manager got to know what type of players that the head coach want. The head coach got to have the respect from the general manager to go out there and get those contracts. So definitely giving the heads to 49ers when it comes to that. But yeah, I'm not sure if y'all can still hear me or nothing like that. Just making sure. All right. Perfect.
Yeah,
That's all I want to say.
yeah, and I definitely would agree. And to be genuine about that, because even during the whole Gaines O'Brien tenure, they kept lying and saying, "Oh, we're in the same page. We got it. We're on the same note. We're simpatico and all that other shit." And we kept telling y'all, like, dog, they're lying, they're lying, they're lying. You can see it in the way they operate. You can see it in the energy. This organization will come out and just say some anything. But I would agree, like, if you're looking at the direction that they're trending, like, say, when you have a foundation, especially if you do have a quarterback that you believe in, you have a coach that you believe in, and you have a clear direction that you're going, it's always going to bode well compared to a team that's kind of still in the guessing game stage. Because I think even though fans are happy, Mills won 2 games in a row, which was cool. At the same time, I know I don't know if the front office really feels like this dude is it long term. But I think that, like I said, he is a patchwork for now. If he gets better in that process and he is solid, cool, then it works out and you don't have to waste that pick, an upcoming high pick on a quarterback or anything like that. Excellent. But if not, well, then, you see what happens. But it's a couple of things, two things I want to address real quick, and then we'll get ready to wrap it up here shortly. There's this statement that's been going around, and I want to know what Sauce Nation thinks, and I want to know what you guys think. Looking at the most previous draft, and we spoke about this in the Discord, do you feel like Nick Caserio hit on all 5 of his picks? And what is the definition of hitting on a pick? Because I've been seeing a lot of people out here saying you hit on all 5. Does it mean that all 5 were decent contributors? Is that a hit on a pick? Is a hit on a pick actually picking a lower valued pick and it having much more success than expected? You know what I mean? Because like I said, I've been seeing this floating around out here. And I'll leave it up to you, Wise. I'll let you start off on that with your thoughts on Nick Caserio and the picks this year. So that was Lopez, Wallow, Jordan, Mills, and who am I forgetting? Lopez, Wallow, Mills, Jordan, and who am I forgetting? I'm forgetting somebody. I think you muted. Oh, Collins. Okay. I don't know why you sound real
It
low.
might have been Collins.
Yeah, Collins. I think Collins was the other one. So, yeah. Yeah, I got all switched around. So again, let me know your thoughts. Well, why it disappeared on us. We're looking at those guys. What do you feel, Vince? Do you feel like the Texans hit on their picks? Do you think he had a decent draft, or do you think like there's still a lot to be determined?
Still, I think it's still a lot to be determined. Normally, when you say you hit on the draft, you got 5 good solid players that contribute to the football, that's contributing to your football team, and they're really pretty solid, really good. So I won't say they hit on them, but I'll say I think it's still to be determined on that factor. That's what I believe. As far as the Mills thing, I'm still not sure about that one yet, of course. And some of the other players seem to be okay, but like my definition of when you hit is you got 5 really good players and they're contributing pretty well. That's my definition of when you hit on them.
Okay. What about you, Waz? Your thoughts? What's your definition of hit, and do you feel as though Nick Caserio, quote unquote, hit on all 5 players?
I agree with what Vince said. It's to be determined. I mean, when you're looking at hitting on a pick, you got to look at long-term success. You got to look at 2 or 3 years down the line. I do like Roy Lopez. I like what Roy Lopez has been able to do. He's been a great run stopper. He's been able to clog the interior of the defensive line. I do like the potential that Brevin Jordan has. He's a good receiving tight end. He still needs to work on his blocking. He needs more playing time. He needs more opportunities. And same thing with Nico Collins. I like Nico Collins, but there's some things that he has to work on. He only had his first receiving touchdown last week. He got to be a little bit more physical. You got to be able to get wide open. Of course, and then he got to get better throws too when it comes to the quarterback. He got to get more opportunities. So I do like a lot of the picks. I like what I've seen, what they can do. I like their potential going forward, but it's still more to see. We got to see. Can Roy Lopez become the next DJ Reader, a 5th-round pick, and we hit on him that late in the draft? Yes, he has that type of potential, but is yet to be seen yet. So we got to give it another year, another 2 years. If these guys do pan out, then we can say yes. Nicky Scissors has hit on his picks, but that's the key thing about this is when you look at a general manager, you always got to give a general manager at least 2 to 3 years. You got to see when he first come in, he's going to clean out the roster. He's going to clean out the front office. He's going to clean out the coaching staff. Then he's going to bring in his guys. He's going to bring in his new culture. He's going to bring in the type of players that he wanted in his locker room. So maybe a year or 2 years from now, we'll be able to come back and have this conversation about if these actual picks were hits or not. But as of now, I'll just say they've been okay. They've been good so far. It's just more to see. And then let me see. I wanted to make one more point about Nicky Scissors. Oh, yeah. So that's another thing with Brian Gaines. he didn't get that opportunity. So
Yeah.
hopefully they keep Nicky Scissors here for another year or two if they plan on going that way with the franchise. But if not, then they got to get rid of the guy this year. But like I said, hopefully if they're on the same page, they just keep going on that same page and building some momentum for the franchise so that we can start trending back to the AFC championship and then AFC South champion to eventually become a Super Bowl champion or AFC champion for the first time in franchise history.
Yes, yeah, and I would agree. And I'm kind of on the same boat, as far as hit. I think for you to say a statement like hit, especially in a rookie year, you'd have to see some tremendous, like standout performance potential. Only guy I think that you could say close to doing that would be Roy Lopez. And I'm not saying like it's he's been playing well. I don't think it's, like NFL shattering, but he's been doing good for the position that he was picked in, to earn a starting spot, to do those things. I think other guys, especially later in the roster, kind of fell into a situation where guys got hurt and they got an opportunity to play. You know what I mean? Where things happen and they got those opportunities to play and they've been contributing. Wallow's been decent since he's been in. Collins has been okay. Even though that was one of the picks I actually did like. Jordan, like I said, is nice. He looks like he has the potential. But to sit here and say hit, I think it would be easier to say that at this point, he didn't get any shitty picks. It wasn't a situation like we've seen in the past sometimes where you get guys that never see the field. You could say he did decent in the fact that all his picks are NFL level talent. They're capable of playing in the NFL. They've all shown that they have the potential to play. Now, being stars is another question. Being starters is another question. Being on another roster besides the Texans roster might be another question. But I think it's a little bit early to say that hit. What you got there, Mr. Wise?
And that's going to be important going forward because when you want to build a team going forward, those third round picks, those fourth round picks, those fifth round picks is what fills out the roster. And you want to see some of those guys come out and be starters and superstars and things of that sort. So we want to get rid of that. Is there an echo on my end?
No.
I think you're right.
Oh, okay, just making sure. But we want to get rid of that stigma of having a third round pick and they're not getting another contract.
Yeah.
When you look at championship teams, they got a lot of guys that was third round picks, that's starters at corner position, linebackers, receivers, and stuff like that. And like I said, just moving forward, those are going to be the most pivotal rounds. And if he's able to hit there and do well in the first and second rounds, which we haven't had a first round pick in multiple years, be tuned for the draft this year. It's going to be a phenomenal draft stream because we actually have a first round pick. But like I said, it's limitless opportunities. It's just all up to Nicky Scissors and the Texans going forward. And if they can get on the same page, like I said, we can see some success going in the future.
Yeah. Like I said, I just like to see. I mean, at this point, the Texans are going to be the Texans. I just want to see some cohesiveness, and I want to see the franchise look like it's headed in the right direction. It's just so much turmoil been around the Texans the last few years. It's frustrating. It's upsetting. You thought once they reached their first playoffs, a decade ago, that things would be trending up. You figure, okay, they made it. They've done everything, and then just to kind of be on this fucking roller coaster, even in, I wouldn't even say within the season. I think we knew it was going to be a bad season, but yeah, it's just tough being a Texans fan. But I know the games are coming on, and so I know the games are on. Some of y'all gonna want to watch the game, so we're gonna get ready to wrap it up. Plus, I didn't know. I'm gonna tell y'all, if the Texans win, that's the possibility of a post game. I can't guarantee y'all post game. Maybe I'll do my work because I got a little bit of homework I need to do. Maybe I can knock it out before the game and all that other shit. If I do get it all done and have that knocked out, then that'll enhance the possibility of the post game. But for those of you who are part of the Patreon, make sure you slide into the Discord. We can chop it up in that. And then, like I said, for everybody else, I want y'all to understand something. It's been a lot of offense, it's been a lot of this, that, and the third. But this is going to be a big year for the Sauce. And, a big year for everybody who has been rocking with the Sauce for so long. Just want to say thank you. We appreciate y'all. It's another new year doing this, and it's just that we want y'all to stay tuned for the journey. Like I said, there's a lot more to come. It's a lot of things that have been worked on, behind the scenes, just trying to get stuff optimized. But A lot more content gonna be coming. The podcast will be coming back. I know a lot of people been reaching, man, when y'all gonna just do the podcast? You know, it's easier to listen, on the thing. So that's gonna be coming back. Got some other stuff going on. I'm gonna tell y'all everything. But if you've been fucking with the sauce, definitely stay saucy. If you're new to this and not true to this, you better get on the bandwagon. That's all I'm gonna say. If you are a member of the Patreon, if you are on the Discord, I'm probably drop a message in there later this evening, explain a few things, little changes that's gonna be going on with that. But bro, like I said, I just want to send a thank you out to everybody who has been a part of this thing. But before we wrap it up, Mr. Vince, anything you want to say? Any points you might have wanted to touch on before we get out of here? Anything you think the Texas fans should be watching now when it comes to this 49ers game?
Sure, man. It's just gonna be hey, it's a game. I know it's a game we gotta have, so we'll see how it go. Well, I'm looking forward to it. So shout out to everybody. Let's see how it go.
Already. Wise man. Anything you want to say to the people before we get ready to wrap it up? Any final thoughts on the game?
Final thoughts on the game. Tenny not here today, so yeah, I ain't gonna get y'all dub today. And then when it comes to Sauce Nation, I just want to thank y'all. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button. Join the Patreon. Join the Discord. We always having great conversations, no matter what time of the year, spring, fall, summer, winter. We always talking football. We always talking Texans in there. Always trying to figure out a solution for the Texans we all mini general managers at the end of the day when it comes to the Discord. So if y'all want to go come in there, have a great conversation, go ahead and join. The $5 is worth it. The price might be changing soon. Who knows? But yeah, what I was going to say is be tuned out. We got some videos coming on the way. Me and Ray got a lot of content that's going to be dropping soon about the draft. Top 5 quarterbacks, top 5 running backs, top 5 receivers, defenders. It don't matter. But we're going to be looking out for the Texans. We want to see the Texans succeed. This year wasn't the year, but hey, 2022 might be the year for the Lexons.
Yeah, might be the year. Oh, yeah, real quick. Throw a score prediction on that thing real quick. Look. What you got? Who come out on top with this one?
We're gonna come out on top, man. I'm gonna go 24-10.
24-10? Okay.
Yeah, I'll go 24-10.
What you got, Wise man?
I will go on this one 27-17. 49ers.
Okay. They on the road. I'm hoping Davis ain't feeling the hype too much, overfeeling himself. We'll see. But I might have to agree with Wise. This might be the Trey Lance chance for his coming out party, But I think it's gonna be a good rookie duel. I ain't gonna hull him like I did last week. But again, that's a whole other story. I'm gonna say 27-20. Is going to be the 49ers, ultimately. And I think it's going to be some late game shenanigans that kind of get the Texans making the score look a little bit better towards the end. But with that being said, chunk of a deuce to y'all. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. Again, stay tuned for maybe after the post-game show. Like I said, I'll let y'all know. If you're in the Discord, definitely let y'all know. And when the game come on, we'll be in the Discord checking it out. And I'll probably put an early game on. We can vote for whatever early game y'all want to watch in there. But with that being said, again, y'all be cool like y'all be cool. But most of all, I guess I need to organize myself. I got to adjust this whole fucking office so I can put the camera. But anyway, y'all stay saucy. Shout out to Vince, man. Definitely appreciate you joining us this morning, man. And let's go Texans, even though they play in a couple hours. They're going to play right now. The players fuck up. Here we go.